Hey, deserving listeners, The Ultimatum, Netflix, Queer Love. Let's watch.
Right?
You said it, not me.
Xander has been saying she might be asexual and that I'm the only one that she could have feelings for. She would be asexual if not for me.
Okay, so we're hearing, according to Vanessa, we don't know what Xander would say, but according to Vanessa, Xander has said that she would be asexual if not for her relationship with Vanessa. So based on that, it's possible that for Xander, that she is indeed asexual. We can take her word for that. And that will happen. In the best world, in the best scenario, asexual people will match up with other asexual people. And thus, there's no frustration of libido or someone having to put themselves out. But there are a lot of different sorts of people who would identify as being asexual. There's also a spectrum, right, of asexuality. And for some people, being asexual doesn't mean that they are repulsed by sex. They just don't wake up in the morning and think, I want to have sex. It's not really in their wheelhouse when it comes to motivation and needs, but they don't mind having sex and they can enjoy having sex. They can enjoy the physical feelings. They can enjoy their partner enjoying it, this sort of thing. But if left to their own devices, particularly if they were with someone who was also asexual, then they would just do other things with their time. Again, there are some asexual people who are repulsed by it, and that's also okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Hopefully, again, they can match up with people that would be compatible for that. And traditionally, asexual people would be shamed. They would be labeled, even by people in my profession, as having trauma that results in them being turned off by sex, because there was this notion that everyone wants to have sex, right? And there's been different thoughts about it over time, particularly when it comes to gender, but that is an assumption often that is put forth by people in our society. But it's well understood now, science demonstrates that there are people who have a sexual orientation, if you will, of asexuality, that it's just not something that they're wanting to do. And of course, this makes sense even when you think about allosexual people who are not asexual. There's a variety of libido, right? Some people who are allosexual who would identify that way, people who actually do wake up in the morning, or at least some mornings, and think, I'd like to have sex right now or today, or whenever the urge occurs for people. And for those individuals, they might want to do it 3 times a day, like Colt, if you watch on 90 Day Fiancé, or like other people who might want to only do it once a year, or once a week, or once a month or so. So we all understand that there's a spectrum there. Well, makes sense that if we go further down the spectrum, then there's going to be some people who literally never want to do it at all. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's completely fine. It depends though, right? So for Xander, she might be like, well, yeah, it'd be nice if I matched up with someone who is asexual, but that really limits my possibilities and the people I can date. And there's a lot of boxes that you're looking for to check off when you're finding someone to spend the rest of your life with. And I don't want to limit myself. Now, hopefully you come forward with that pretty quickly, because some people might not want to pursue a relationship with someone that was asexual. And it's also possible that Xander didn't figure it out until she was halfway through the relationship with Vanessa, because, that'll happen sometimes. So anyway, and we're hearing now that from Vanessa. I wonder what Vanessa is saying here.
Actual chance that Xander could find someone else?
No, I'm beautiful. Right?
You said it, not me.
Xander has been saying she might be asexual and that I'm the only one that she could have feelings for. She would be asexual if not for me.
At least the way this is edited, so we can't know, but the way it's edited, the reason why Vanessa is bringing it up is as a reason as to why she's beautiful and attractive. I think that's what she's implying, or at least that's what the edit is trying to imply, that Vanessa is saying, I'm so hot and so attractive that even I am drawing someone out of their asexuality because I'm so hot. Which can happen. Some asexual people or demisexual people who are on that side of the spectrum will say, yeah, I thought I was asexual until I met that one person, and then they actually kind of bring out this desire to have sex with no one else. And that's another element of the variation of human sexuality.
What exactly did you think you were going to get out of this process if there was no chance for Xander to be with other people?
Right. And I guess when she puts it that way, it does make some sense. I've been kind of not necessarily agreeing with the previous season of Ultimatum where people were getting blasted for not buying into the process. You know, I've been saying, even with Vanessa right now, it's like, well, you know, she isn't really into that sort of thing. Or, you know, she's willing to give it a shot, sort of like in Love is Blind, where people go on that show. And I've said, like, for some of the individuals, there'd be nothing wrong with them saying, well, I'm open, but unless something really is amazing, I'm not necessarily going to just dive into marriage without really feeling it. So I want to meet some people, or I want to have fun on a reality TV show. Now, some people criticize that because it's like, well, a lot of other people are going on actually to do that. And I think that criticism is valid here. Vanessa's being upfront. So for everyone that would potentially match up with Vanessa's being clear that she's not really fully into the process, so she's not tricking anybody. But yeah, you could say that a lot of the people who go on these shows are really buying into the process, and if other people aren't really buying into the process, then it's really wasting their time, right?
And like, you're sitting over here and I don't want to get married. What the fuck did you come here for?
But I think I don't understand. Why is that upsetting you?
The experience was 10 people coming here, open and ready to accept not just the possibility of a marriage proposal.
Yeah, I could see both sides, but I guess Lexi is starting to convince me on her side that, okay, fine, but then they'll go on the show, right? So I think I was confused. I think I was saying that there were 6 couples, but she just said 10 people. So yeah, looking at my notes, there's 5 couples. Okay.
Process.
And why is that?
You're not risking anything.
I don't know, Lex.
You didn't think she could be attracted to anyone else. I just can't see how it's genuine. There's a part of me that's almost like somebody should tell you where the door is. This isn't for you.
Yeah, maybe Vanessa can make a case for it. You could argue that she's there for Xander's sake, that Xander is in the process and fully into it. So Vanessa's like, well, I'm along for the ride because Xander is the one that is giving me the ultimatum, and I've been pretty clear from the beginning with Xander and everyone else that I don't know if I ever want to get married, but if this is what Xander wants to do, then okay. I mean, you know, you can make a case of that. Because that would be hard to find. 2 people who are together for a long time, and one person is giving a serious ultimatum, the other person is seriously, like, not really into it, and that has been going on for a while. Because that's the assumption, right? Because if it was one person saying, hey, what about marriage? And the other person's like, I don't know. But they're open to it, then that's not really the situation, right? It's in a stuck position and has been for a long time, and that's the way they all talked about it. So that's a kind of rare couple, and then a couple that would actually come on the show, it's obviously a lot rarer. And then to find a couple like that also both people are willing to completely throw themselves into a completely random other relationship for a month to seriously look potentially for a forever partner to marry for the rest of their lives. Yeah, you know, it's a lot of criteria. So I wonder if that's a factor. But, you know, kudos to Vanessa for being upfront. Kudos to Lexi for being like, you're wasting our time. So, you know, everyone, I think, is understandable to me.
Trust, completely broken. Faith, misplaced as hell. I thought I was attracted to her. I thought that there was something there. I wanted to explore that and risk it. But like, it's a lie world. Vanessa's a fake person. I don't know what else to tell you. I'm like, she's fake.
We don't know what Lexi means by fake. That's not the word I would use. I mean, I guess Lexi could say, well, she faked her way onto the show because maybe Lexi even knows. Look, they vetted us. They were interviewing us saying, like, so are you sure that you're actually willing to give this other relationship a shot? So that's what she's banking on. But if anything, Vanessa is the opposite of fake. She's very upfront with what is going on in her mind because there'd be a lot of reasons to obscure that. And she is unabashedly honest about how she's thinking.
I don't even want to say her name anymore. She's like Voldemort to me.
If you do get rejected by me, and please know that if it is, it's...
So you can go live with my ex?
I will say it's kind of interesting how Vanessa seems to be confused about what the problem is. And maybe Vanessa didn't watch the first season or something. I don't know. It seems like Vanessa would try to defend. And maybe they edit this pretty severely.
This was a terrible end to a date. Like, objectively, like,
Yeah,
this
I'm
wasn't
just so
fun.
confused how it got that way.
I think we pack it up.
Yeah.
I will never have to look that girl in the face, but somebody else will have to for the next 3 weeks. Likely, my ex-girlfriend. And I'm angry about that.
And Lexi being upset is also something to ponder. I think the premise is understandable. The amount of anger, though, is interesting because I'm just thinking if I were in Lexi's shoes, I'd be like, oh, okay, well, I guess Vanessa's not for me because I'm actually looking for someone to seriously try the trial marriage. So I guess Vanessa's not the one. So I can't relate to the amount of anger about it. And it's not like they've been dating for very long, the two of them, Vanessa and Lexi. I think it's for just 24 hours, 36 hours kind of a thing. And they've both been dating a lot of other people. I think even for Lexi, she has other people that are on her list, maybe even higher than what Vanessa was on. So it's not like Vanessa's been completely wasting Lexi's time. So I'm a little confused about that, but I don't know what that says. The only thing we know about Lexi, and of course, people are vastly more complicated and more deep than what it is ever presented to us on these shows. These shows try to present to us an archetype of sorts. They will edit it such that and engineer the scene such that they're trying to push forward something that will slot into an archetype, a cultural type, if you will, for us. So I think the show is trying, or it just naturally happened this way, that Vanessa is now being put forth as some sort of negative cast member, some sort of disliked cast member, and Lexi is coming forth as maybe the assertive one or something. I don't know. But I'm trying to piece all this together. So she's pretty upset. Again, it's understandable, but when we go off what she's been talking about, she didn't use the word codependent, but she did talk about how she's frequently taking care of other people, and she's never had a partner who took care of her. If you know from my deep dive, identified 3 different types of codependence. And of course, there's a spectrum for all of these, with some people just having mild impulses along these lines and distortions, and other people having severe. But the 3 different types are someone who is controlling codependent, someone who is accommodating codependent, and someone who is chameleon. The first 2 are much more common, as in my anecdotal experience. I came up with these types, so it hasn't been researched, so I don't know the prevalence about it in terms of what I've seen in my office and in the world. And so for the accommodating codependent, these people are trying to help the underfunctioner and accommodating. They enable, they will fix everything around them, and they put themselves in the back burner a lot. For the controlling codependent, though, they are controlling, they're upset, they're angry, and they might enable and they might pick up the pieces, but they're frequently berating and putting people down. So I don't have any data to go off along those lines, but I'm just trying to develop some sort of list of hypotheses regarding what's going on with these people.
I wish Ray would know that this girl is not here for the right stuff. I don't want to see her again.
You know what I mean? Like, it's fine. The basis of the upsettedness is rational, of course, but I have a hard time relating to the amount. Now, like I said earlier, it's possible that for Lexi, she's thinking, I'm dedicating a lot of effort and a lot of time. I have to take off unpaid leave from my work for this process. And for someone to come on this show that isn't genuinely interested in the process, it's upsetting. Like, what are you doing here? Why are you here? I think it's also possible that Lexi was turned off by a lot of the things that Vanessa said when they were on that bench, and that Lexi is either consciously or subconsciously really zeroing in on that one aspect as a way to write Vanessa off of her list. Because you could see that, right? All right, well, that is it for that episode. Everyone, please take care of yourself because you deserve it. You really, really do.